Hey everybody, it's Allie, and welcome to my YNR chat vlog for Sunday, December 5th. Hey, does anybody want to take a trip to New Orleans with me? I'm really feeling it right now. Like, I want to go on a trip, and now I'm in a New Orleans type of mood. Literally, tell me, if anybody wants to take a trip, send me a message and let me know, because I totally will. We could leave tonight, and we could watch Monday's show from a haunted hotel room in New Orleans. It sounds perfect to me. Needless to say, I loved our journey through the Big Easy this week. It was wonderful. It was like a wonderful magic retreat. It literally felt like a vacation, and I loved it so much. There was like, I feel like they really did a great job of kind of capturing that New Orleans feel. There was jazzy music going on in the background, and they did a lot of kind of new stuff, you know. That's one of the things I love about YNR so much, is that they push themselves to try new things. There was some interesting camera work, you know. They did some different angles, and showed some things like bouncing things off of reflections of other things, and it was neat, and it was different, and I really liked it. It was fun to see Michael and Nick together. I mean, they don't really get a chance to do much together, so it was nice to have this little adventure with them. I bet that they used a lot of fans of the show in all of those street scenes, you know, where they're going up to people asking if they've seen Sharon or Adam anywhere. And like I said last week, apparently New Orleans is like YNR's #1 market. So I hope that they were able to use some fans. Hey, if there's anybody who was in those scenes from New Orleans, or if you're just from New Orleans, drop me a line in the comment box and just let me know what you think about YNR being in your city. I would love to hear from someone who actually got to go on to set. That would be amazing. And I thought that was really nice that they added a little "thank you, New Orleans" reprieve to the end of Wednesday's show. It was really nice, and I hope honestly that it did something for the economy in that city. They used a lot of local shops. Seemed like they featured a lot of local shops and restaurants and hotels, and so hey, it made me want to travel there. So that was really nice. It seemed like it was kind of a a nice cooperative effort, between them all, and it was a really great, perfect location to tell the story of Nick and Sharon and Adam and the relationships that exist there. There were these themes all throughout the show and of the city of mourning and celebration and light and dark and good and evil, and they did a really good job, I think, of representing that duality. Having Adam and Sharon together after all of this time and after all of this anticipation was like eating a hot fudge sundae with whipped cream on top and nuts sprinkled on and a huge cherry on top. It was wonderful, and I want more. I want more, you guys. Sharon was wandering around the city, and she ends up in this graveyard after having a mystical tarot card reading. And I have to tell you, the moment that Adam appeared in the distance to her, my heart just sunk. Like, I felt it. I really felt it. And then Adam and Sharon shared this graveyard kiss that was so representative of their relationship, so representative of this duality, and Sharon giving herself over to the darkness while Adam is looking toward the light. Like, it was amazing. I felt, and I really believed their moments together. It felt real. Like, after they had this graveyard reunion, they went and just walked through the city. They're just slow walking together, just enjoying the company, no worries, nothing else was happening. It was just them, and I soaked in every moment of that like it was sunshine on a beach. Let me tell you, I enjoyed it so much. And then they had this dinner by candlelight, which was like an amazing date. They're playing this little game, this little like mental game with each other, pretending that the whole world was of their making and that they were the only two people in it. And it was it was like a dream date. And then, the best part, this is where it got really good. We had hot lovemaking. Adam whispers to the maitre d' that he wants a room, and that, I mean, like, the next thing you see is them like busting into the room together, ripping each other's clothes off, and it was hot and like hurried in a way, but it was also like they really took their time. Like, the moments, I just believed it. It felt really, really real. I haven't been glued to the screen the way that I was during that scene all year. I mean, I don't think that I have been as interested in something all year as I was to that lovemaking scene. I basically watched it like this. Maybe with a little bit of drool coming down one side of my mouth. I mean, I rarely get like to the lovemaking scenes, but my tongue was hanging out. I'll just say that for this one. And I loved the hotness being juxtaposed with Nick looking like a fool, wandering around New Orleans looking for his fiance. I felt kind of bad to him. It was another duality, really. I mean, Sharon and Adam having this amazingly romantic time, and Nick just looking like a fool for his woman who's not really his, looking for something that isn't really his. I was totally into it, and I actually had this sort of brief moment where I felt like everything was gonna change. Like, it was gonna be a new day in Genoa City after this. Like, yeah, okay, they're together now and it's right and everything's gonna change. Because Sharon seemed genuinely happy for the first time in a long time. I mean, there was nothing else lingering there. Like, she just felt like relieved, and I felt it too. And she kind of was telling Adam that, being with him just feels right. And we know that Adam feels the same way. I mean, Adam was at his very best when he was with Sharon. She's the only one that really brings out the decency in him. So we know that there's a pull there, and we know that there's in a way it feels right, them being together. Of course, I think I said that about Nick and Sharon like 2 weeks ago. I'm so fickle, but it's true. I just had this moment where it was like, everything is like perfect and it's right. Yes. And then Sharon sees a carousel, which, by the way, is a reoccurring theme on the show. I don't know if they bought a carousel and just have needed to use it a million times, but we had it with Sharon and Nick in Paris, and that's what reminded her of Adam. We also had it, with Lauren and Daisy just a couple earlier this year, and then now. So carousel's weird, but Sharon sees this carousel. It reminds her of this time that she had with Nick in Paris, and everything changed. Everything changed just in the blink of an eye. And I felt really bad for Adam. I mean, Sharon just turns around and says, "I can't be with you." And you could just see that he was crushed inside. And I don't know, it was like he thought that everything had fallen into place in his life, and then bam, the rug was just ripped out from under him, and I so know how that feels. I so know how that feels, and I identify. And I don't know how people just change their minds. How do you just change your mind in the blink of an eye? Like, I can only gauge it based on myself, and I know what I want, and I do what I want, and I don't just change my mind because of a memory. I don't know. Maybe I'm just different from Sharon in that way, but I feel like if Sharon is honest with herself, she's been drawn to Adam for a really long time. I think she really is a woman torn, because my thought of it is that Sharon wants the hotness and the darkness of her relationship with Adam, but I think she also wants the security and the comfort of her relationship with Nick, and unfortunately you just can't have both. I think Sharon's emotions tell her that she wants Adam, but I think her rational mind tells her that she has a family and a life with Nick, and she just really can't have it both ways. Anyway, Adam gets hauled away in handcuffs. Very sadly for me. And Nick realizes that he's been betrayed. You know, he's seen Adam and Sharon together. He realizes that he was working really hard to rescue her when she knew exactly what she was doing the entire time. He made the point later that when he looks at Adam's face, all he can see is the man who kidnapped his child, which is a totally valid point. And what Sharon did to him was a betrayal. There's no two ways about it. So Nick called it off between he and Sharon, and, you know, in a way, you just really can't blame him, you know? I mean, you kind of want him to stand by her, but in another way, you know that she did him wrong. Suddenly, you know, he's called it, not only has he called it off, but he's asking for full custody, or he kind of brought it up that he could possibly have full custody of the child, and I don't know, I just think, you know, I understand his point, but I don't know, I just think that, I think it's going to get really ugly really quick, especially with Adam's pending trial, you know, and Sharon choosing to support Adam. I think things are going to get real ugly real quick. Holy crap, Adam is finally busted for something that he didn't do. Sky is alive and well. Victor dropped her off in the middle of the jungle, but not before giving her a makeover. That is so like him, you know? I thought it was a really good twist. I really did. I don't do much predicting of storylines. I'm kind of along for the ride, as you can see. So I was genuinely surprised, and I really like where this is going. It's just one more excuse for Adam and Sharon to be together. You know, she's the only one that believes in his innocence, and I actually really liked the idea of Sharon being accused of being an accomplice to Sky's murder. I thought that would be interesting to see them on trial together for something that, you know, that neither of them did. But it doesn't look like we're headed in that direction, and maybe it's for the best, because Sharon being in a position to help Adam when no one else will is exactly the kind of thing that she will be drawn to, and that will allow us to continue this love story that I'm enjoying so much. Usually Sharon is the one that needs rescuing, so I'm sure that she finds it incredibly compelling, you know, that now she has to be the one to do the rescuing. You know, it's something that she doesn't get anywhere else in her life, so I think that will be one more reason to draw her to Adam. And Adam was definitely desperate. He actually asked Heather for help. Why would he ask Heather for help? He probably would have had a better chance with Rafe, you know? I actually do like the idea of having Adam and Ronan go head-to-head on this whole thing. It's kind of an interesting point. Ronan has quite a fan base. Ronan has a lot of freaking fans. Everyone is clamoring for more Ronan, and more specifically, it seems like everyone is clamoring for more Ronan and Chloe, and yet they keep sticking him with Heather. Why? Why do they do that? I mean, enough, YNR. But seriously, cut Heather out of the picture altogether, and I will be 100% on board the Ronan train, I promise. Has anyone else noticed that she has, like, huge boobs? Okay, part 2 coming right up.